everybody, welcome back to Talk with Nia. Now let's get into some unpopular opinions of Beyonce's Renaissance tour. Now we all know that Beyonce has kicked off her tour and everyone is so excited to see the clips of the tour, or if you got your hands on some tickets, I know you're excited to see Beyonce in person. Now the Renaissance tour is expected to make around 6.8 to 7.5 million per show. And according to some headlines, the prices of these tickets are in the thousands. And of course, that's based off of like where you're sitting and then the location, like the city that you're going to see her in. Now, however, as the clips of the tour came out, some people had some opinions about the performance. The first thing people started to say was that Beyonce may be injured, as fans noticed that she had a bigger or chunkier heel on one foot versus the other, which also made fans say that Beyonce wasn't dancing as much. Now, Beyonce is getting older, right? She definitely could be recovering from an injury and taking it easy. However, I do think fans need to keep in mind that if Beyonce continues to tour for years to come, we will have to accept the fact that she will not be as active as she continues to get older. It's going to get to a point where she's just going to stand and sing, okay? Now, some fans on social media said still, these concert tickets are too much money and the album is too upbeat for her to be mid. Someone else said, I don't know why people keep saying that like she didn't have surgery on her foot/knee not too long ago. She's doing amazing considering. Someone else said her fans have to remember Beyonce is in her 40s. Her body has changed and she's not going to be as energetic as she used to be. And her set is also 3 hours long and it's a world tour. She's pacing herself. Also, fans were excited to see her bodyguard, Julius, and screaming his name. And it basically caught Beyonce off guard. She definitely looked confused, like, wait a minute, aren't you guys here to see me? Check this out.
My God. Oh, my God. Julius! Wow, wow, wow.
That was too funny. Now, Beyonce was even caught having to fix her fan during her performance, which we all know is a big no-no as far as Beyonce's expectations of her team. Somebody definitely is getting fired. Now, people even accuse Beyonce of biting off of Rihanna and Rosalia for this tour. Someone went on social media and basically showed clips side by side of how Beyonce may have gotten inspired from these two artists and incorporated it into her show. Now, let's take a listen to some of the other opinions of the Renaissance tour.
I was really trying to pay it, but y'all really acting like this little pale motherfucker is the only queer y'all see on stage dancing with Beyonce. I'm trying to figure out what contribution has this bleach blonde Ringo star made to ballroom. I mean, Leomi literally wants her Vogue back, seriously. I mean, y'all could have just got Leomi for real. I can't imagine she would have been unavailable for Beyonce. And if you wanted somebody younger, you could have got Brooklyn. At least she brings her own special touch to Leomi's Vogue. But Miss Honey is a mediocre carbon copy. And before y'all say I'm hating, yes, I'm hating. I hate the fact that every time we come up with something, it gets stolen and whitewashed. And when you figure out what this child contributes to ballroom outside of white passing, let me know in the comments.
So one of the prime questions that was being asked by people viewing Beyonce's first night on the Renaissance Tour Stockholm was, where is Ashley? If you don't know Ashley, she was Beyonce's longtime dance captain. She's been dancing with Beyonce since she was 17. If you remember the Beyonce experience, the dancer to the side, this was her. She's danced for Beyonce for multiple occasions for over the last decade. This includes both Super Bowls, both weekends at Coachella, her kind of music videos, and almost every single tour she's been on. Also, she was the dancer that got engaged, back during the Formation tour. I just now found out that they called off the engagement back in 2019. But back to Ash. Now, people were wondering if she was going to be on the Renaissance tour because she hadn't posted anything, and she had posted a couple of teasers over the last couple of months. But when she posted this video back in April talking about her getting ready for a callback, people were had their ears perked up because you would think she would be getting ready for the tour. People also speculated that there is possible beef between her and Beyonce because she was seen liking comments, calling Beyonce overrated. Also, she liked some comments shading Chloe too, which was very weird. But as of this morning, we now know who is Beyonce's new dance captain, Hannah Douglas. Now, Hannah's been dancing for Beyonce since 2012, so she has earned her stripe. And after watching night one of the tour, I can tell that she's going to be an amazing dance captain on this tour.
Oh, Beyonce hated Sweden, as she seemingly threw shade to the crowd at the first nights of her Renaissance tour tonight when she performed in Brussels, Belgium, which I'm assuming stemmed from the fact that the first 2 nights of her tour in Stockholm, the crowd was primarily older, sitting down, and quiet, as seen in this clip. Seriously though, could you imagine being in a crowd like this during Beyonce? But tonight, Beyonce made it a point to thank the crowd for their energy in Brussels by saying, "You are already being an amazing audience."
Can I tell y'all, I think you're the best audience so far on this tour. Absolutely. Thank you for your energy.
She also was visibly not having it when she asked the crowd in Sweden to sing Love on Top, because look at her face. And the hook, line, and sinker came when Beyonce, towards the end of the show, was not feeling the energy from the audience and literally said, "I need just a little bit more love." I think I know where Beyonce will not be performing on her next tour.
So, I'm not stitching this video for that purpose, but I've been seeing a lot of complaints about the Renaissance tour and the recent New Edition tour. Specifically about Beyonce's choreography and Bobby Brown's inability to keep the pace of things. And I just want us to be so incredibly for real that Beyonce is 41. Bobby Brown is 54. Why are we demanding that they have the same mobility that they had at 21 years old? Like, aging, maturing, the fact that being able-bodied is quite literally a privilege that we're not guaranteed for our whole lives, does not discredit their talent, their craft, nor does it change their impact.
Beyonce is not retiring, so please chill on that. What she is doing is entering a brand new phase in her career, literally renaissance. Got nothing left to prove. She don't give a fuck about your little Grammy Awards, okay? She's gonna do what she wants to do and make the music that she wants to make and perform how she wants to perform. And I think there's a few things at play here as to why people are perceiving it as her last show or final tour, or what did Michael Jackson call it? This is it. Because this is all coming about because Beyonce seemingly wasn't doing as much choreography or wasn't doing it all full out. And aside from the foot surgery thing, I think that there's a point that's being missed. Because the pandemic backed everything up, it's gonna be a lot of people's first time seeing Beyonce for Renaissance Tour. And if they haven't seen Beyonce before, they might be using Homecoming/Coachella as a reference point for a live performance of hers, which, yes, she did that, but you have to remember that Homecoming was not a tour. It was a 2-weekend performance. I think it's one of the best live performances of all time, but it's not sustainable for a tour. That performance is not the kind of performance you can keep up for 2 or 3 nights a week for months. That is impossible. And she told us, she said she was never gonna push her body to those lengths again. She said that in the Homecoming documentary, so out of the horse's mouth. Another thing I think that she said is that she's gonna continue to tour until she can't anymore, and she clearly can. So, I don't know what we're talking about.
Wait a minute. People been begging Beyonce to go on tour. Now she on tour. Now motherfuckers mad because she ain't dancing. Did we forget that Beyonce is 20 years into the game? She ain't got to dance no more. She could just stand there and be beat.
Now, as far as my take, I do think that some of the dancers look like they were not in sync with each other, which was a surprise because I know that usually the dancing of all Beyonce shows are on point. Now, someone said, you can tell her dancers are new, and that's not a compliment. Someone also said, I'm not saying the new dancers aren't talented, but it's just not giving the same vibe as her past dancers. I can tell Ashley wasn't involved. Now, the whole thing with Ashley is a whole nother conversation, which we did talk about previously, if you're subscribed, about potentially she's not involved in the tour. I don't know. Maybe she's doing other things. Now, I also thought that some of the dance moves just didn't hit it for me. I didn't necessarily like some of the choreography to some of the songs. However, Beyonce looks absolutely amazing. Can we talk about that? She was definitely eating as little as possible and slims completely up for this tour, okay? Her body was bodying. I also have to appreciate the amount of effort that Beyonce puts into her projects, because you can tell that she wants to give a show and wants to give her fans something different and memorable each time. Now, Beyonce also made a post where she's basically hinting at launching a hair care line. Here is what some people had to say.
Today, with a curated Instagram post, Beyonce suddenly announced that she was going to be releasing a hair care line. But honestly, if it ain't called World of Wigs, my main question is, for why, God? Now hear me out. Queen, mother, living legend, icon, yes, all of the above. But her public image is so carefully curated that we don't have an inkling of her personal preferences. You put a gun to my head and said name Beyonce's favorite food, I'd be saying goodbye to my family. This works to maintain an aura of superstardom within the music industry. It makes it hard for us to make an emotional connection to any product she produces. Like Ivy Park Adidas, Ivy Park Topshop, or Darion Jeans. Seems like she's trying to find a way to not have to sing and dance for her supper, and while we get, unfortunately for Beyonce, her most profitable product is her prolific singing and dance. She can't stay home and push product like these other singers.
Let me say this, Miss Disco Horse Lady. We're not buying nothing else. So this little message that you can put out about the importance of having healthy hair and you can't wait for us to see what you've been working on and creating, girl, you can keep it. So whatever you got, whether it's rubber bands, Borex, hair grease, perms, hair spray, edge control, we not buying it. We're not buying it. Madam BJ Walker, we're not buying it until you unask them visuals. We have spent so much money with you in Renaissance this past year, it don't make no sense. We've been asking for visuals since July 29th, 2022. It's May 16th, 2023. And now you want to come out with grease and wigs? We're not buying no brush. We're not buying none of that. So I hope you prepared to have all that stuff and it just be sitting in your storage room, because we not buying Nathaniel. We not buying nothing until you unask them visuals. And I mean that. I means that. Curly line, none of that. And I mean it.
Now, for me, can I see Beyonce selling a hair care line? Beyonce can sell anything she wants to. She can put anything out there on the market, right? But will it be successful? I don't know, because I feel like we really don't know much about Beyonce's personal life. We don't know like the things that she's really interested in outside of her passion for her music and her performances, you know, like her art, her work, her singing. So I don't know if she is like somebody who I would watch on YouTube for all the hair care secrets and tips to make my hair grow. Like, you know, it's not like I've watched her journey of her growing out her hair or protecting her hair, you know, so I don't really know how it aligns. However, there are other celebrities who have done it, you know, who really aren't known for hair care tips and all that other stuff. And they have lines out on the shelves right now. So I don't know if it'll be as successful, especially because Beyonce has tried retail a few times and it just really hasn't been as successful for her. She may just have to be that artist that relies on her music, or she may have to just invest in other things that doesn't require her to put a retail product out. Like maybe she can invest in a team or do something different or be an investor in other things where she's just getting cut a check and investing in somebody else's idea or something else that gives her some residual income so she can eventually leave the stage. All right. But that is just my opinion. Let me know what you think down below and I'll see you in the next one.